Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the ESA Cup Season 8. And we are looking at these upper bracket quarterfinals. And I'm McCready. Joining me today is Velocity. It's a pleasure to have you here. And looking towards these upper bracket quarterfinals, oh my lord, it is looking like a good game. We have ENVISION going up against Retirement Home today, don't we?
Yeah, not seen too much of these teams throughout the ESA season, so it's going to be kind of interesting to see. Really good for myself and you to see what these teams are capable of and what they're going to bring to the table today.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think I've seen much of them either. It's really, really exciting. But to talk a little bit about who has seen them so far, let's bring up these staff predictions. They have a much better idea than myself or you because we're still a little bit new to this league. So if we take a look here, it does look like it's coming up, at least on this first screen, very, very Envision sided. And I feel like, all right, yeah, that's everyone going for Envision, I
Yeah,
think. Yeah. Retirement Home definitely got a lot to prove when it comes to this. I'm hoping here that this might just be a bit of bias because I know some of the team get on really well with Envision. I'm
yeah.
hoping that we do see a bit closer of a game than we see on that prediction at the moment. But the community also do have predictions, so I believe we do have them ready. So if we take a look here, yeah, it's gone
This
about
is
the same
ridiculous.
way.
If Retirement Home win this, this is the biggest upset of the ESA season I think we're ever going to see.
Yeah,
92% of the social vote saying Envision win this, and every member of the staff team that predicted says Envision win this. This is going to be an upset if Retirement Home take this away.
yeah, no pressure on them at all because this really, I wouldn't enjoy going into this with everybody saying that you're going to lose. But well, now you got something to prove, so that's something I'm quite interested in seeing. How do Retirement answer to this call? Now, one big thing that really does impact how a game works out, especially in this quarterfinal stage, is these map bans velocity.
Yeah, map bans we're going to see a clubhouse, cafe, and a bank. Slightly more unorthodox picks for that best of three, and it's like weird order. Normally you see,
Yeah.
bank maybe map one, cafe maybe map two, clubhouse maybe map three. But we get to see clubhouse first, then cafe, and then decider is bank. Two of the three maps not default for once. I'm shocked. Normally we at least see an Oregon once or a chalet in a quarterfinals onwards in a best of three. It's going to be really interesting to see what these teams can pull out.
Yeah, like you say, typically you expect to see that clubhouse over towards the end where we see bankers, because teams typically they'll go for the pick they feel more confident on kind of out of the ball. They'll say, right, we'll get our skyscraper, we'll get our chalet, we'll get our Nighthaven out the way at the very start. But no, and then when we come to the end of the series, that's when we're going to rely on the basics. But no, looks like Envision, I do believe, are going to want to be getting right into this on Clubhouse. A Clubhouse, that map, the basics are so, so important here, Velocity. If you as a competitive team in Siege can't play a good map at Clubhouse and can't do it confidently, you shouldn't really be a team at all, let's be honest.
Exactly. Clubhouse probably one of my favorite maps to watch in competitive Siege because, as you said, it relies on the basics. The basic fundamentals of a team of Siege are so important. But yet, you still have the opportunity to use those to go for those unorthodox plays, jumping out, running
Yeah.
out, spawn peeking, just random flanks that you wouldn't necessarily do in an actual comp game. You wouldn't necessarily do in any real game. And we get to see it here firsthand on Clubhouse. Monty being the first ban of tonight.
Not really surprised. It's a band that I've seen quite a bit in this league, to be honest. I mean, a lot of teams don't really enjoy the idea of having that big, big walking shield running around. And when you think about the map as well, I mean, you think about dirt, you think about rafters. They're two positions that Amonte is really, really invaluable to an attacking team. And you can kind of understand where Retirement Home's thinking is coming from with that ban. Ying's going to be joining out as well. Another operator that we've really noticed a lot of bans have come through. I mean, I'm not sure the exact stats. I could get them up in a second, but I've seen Ying and Monty get banned almost constantly, and it's the aggression that these operators can bring to a well-coordinated team. If you have the Monty on the board, if you have a Ying, you can really, really put a lot of pressure on the defenders, and that's when you make a mistake as a defender. Speaking
Absolutely.
of dealing with this pressure, that's the mirror ban.
Yeah, again, Mirror puts a lot of pressure around the map. You place the mirror down, you don't even have to play behind it. It's that, phantom pressure, the pressure thinking of there could be someone behind this. And it creates that stipulation, and it does cause some issues for the attacking side. Much like the Fenrir, who does cause a very big issue because you walk into the FNAT mines, you're blind, and it then forces you to have to use some utilities such as EMPs to try and get rid of it. So, he's a pain to play against, so no wonder he is banned. To wrap it up then, Monty, Ying, Mirror, and Fenrir are our bans for map 1 tonight here on Clubhouse.
I genuinely don't think I've seen a map that has had a that has actually had a Fenrir go through in a comp game. Looking towards this first round, though, we are going to be heading to that Church and Arsenal room on the bottom floor. Seeing the two-bro coming out, the I need more bullets guy, seeing them coming through is just screaming to me that they're either going to use that over towards blue, or they're going to use it on the kitchen floor. If you put that gadget up above on the roof, you can actually see where people are sapping. Think about C4s.
Oh,
that's the only thing I've got to say. We've got 3 C4s on the board. If they use this properly,
it's gonna be lethal. Now, you mentioned the two-brow, and actually, I am quite surprised two-brow isn't banned here, because he is just. I don't want to say like overpowered, but he is just ridiculous because of, as you said, those C4s, the capability to be able to see where the footsteps are and pre-place that C4. And not only that, to deny the breach for as long as he can, especially if we're looking at, the top floor site, Master and Jim, you've got the capability to deny the jacuzzi side, the capability to deny the construction single, and if we want to go even as far as saying denying that CC wall, it just wastes so much time. I'm actually quite surprised he is not banned here.
Yeah, because he can do so much utility denial and then allows a bandit or a K to work around it and stop that down. Right now, though, looking towards that top floor, we are seeing the Solace up on the roam. Shiro, very much aware of this player there. Very much aware that the rest of the team need to focus on this roam because they can get the most out of this attack. If that buck starts going into kitchen and starts doing verticality, we get shot in the top of the head because there's someone in all the way up in Logi. What's the point? It really, really doesn't matter as an attacker if you have that bomb floor control but not the top. Jake, though, is going to be looking to just waste as much time as possible here, get as much utility off the board. If they can do that, then they force the attackers to devote more time and resources, but that's not really going to happen. That Jackal will come through and find that kill, and the responsibility of the roaming does come through to Schnitzipoo.
Now, this is the problem here. We mentioned, the roam, and we saw this earlier on the roam, but the Vigil is on the same floor in a position where if you just move a few steps, you can support your teammate and potentially look to get that refrag, and it just didn't happen. The Vigil is still on the complete opposite side of the map, is yet to be cleared out. Now, the attacking side are going to have some problems if they don't clear out this Vigil. However, he is going to fall back down into Secret. Wasted a significant amount of time, with 1 minute and 25 seconds left on the clock, and now and only now are the attacking side really taking sole control of that mid floor.
Yeah, now that they're able to do that, they're aware that Jake Forsyth might be in the wings, but it's going to be Tinky Winky Jinky able to find Vasi as well. Now, the attacking side, they have control of that kitchen. They have a player on that main hallway, on that main stairs, ready to be positioned. That C4 goes out, doesn't find its mark, and in doing so, somebody can go there and cover the cutoff. In doing this shuts down the freedom of movement of defenders. And if the attackers are able to hold that, it can really open things up for them, as they can take much more attacker-favored gunfights. Time ticking down, 45 seconds on the clock here, Velocity. They're going to have to start making their move now.
Absolutely.
Rizraz moving towards the dirt, followed by the Jackal over towards blue. A good pinch could come through here.
Yeah, they are going to be setting up for what looks like to be that church, the kitchen dirt drop pit. It is Tinky Winky Jinky, though, to take down the dirt player, and that's going to shut down that plan entirely. As the sense comes out, one more to fall, and it puts it out into a 2 versus 4 situation. As the Jackal tries to walk down into Gen, does find one, that's the Vigil off the board. Believes there's one more behind the Gen generator, but is mistaken, and is now wasting time as his teammate Shiro is trying to get the plant down. Met by the TCSG, is forced to move off. Alone in church, goes down the bomb, and they're forced to move back onto site now. The attackers now have to become the defenders have to become the attackers, as they are now able to sit alone, wait, watch the angles, and wait for the defenders to come to them.
Yeah,
it's a swing to come out, NT falls, it's a 1 versus 2, still waiting though. In Moto does he play. The C4 to go out, it's the Valkyrie to try and swing, Shiro to take down the kill in the 1 versus 1. Could this be the round, the starting round of all time? It's the post plan with only 15 seconds left. The Bearing 9 out in hand, he goes back into armory. He's on the diffuser, but he's going to try and stick it. Jumps off now, it's a Tuberau, swings, puts it. Oh my, what a round.
Just about, I think he's just about going to have time to get that. And in doing so, a very, very tight retake coming through from the defenders there. Oh, that was a little bit too tight for my taste from retirement home, but very, very well played from the defenders. I mean, they caught these attackers off guard. They took advantage of the fact that these pushes weren't entirely in sync. We saw the Dirt player push up, a kill came through, and then suddenly that's when the sense went out. That's when other players started to move forward. That post plant though, being able to get that timing down, I was so happy to see that post plant coming through. But then the defenders just being confident in themselves to take those gunfights, clear things up. Realistically, a huge impact from the Glass. Really good potential to get that round on the board, but it just wasn't meant to be. That SMG and just the awareness coming out from the defenders there just wasn't going to be what they needed.
The defenders played that very poorly, and to set the tone of round, that was poor. Purely because they were so tunnel vision, so focused on this secret guy that they allowed him to walk into church, and not only walk into church, but get the plant down as well. That's mind-boggling to me, because surely there has to be some sort of reaction. Surely you hear that plant, especially if you're playing in sight. And two of them, I believe it was one or two of them, were in sight. Where was the reaction? Why was there no reaction? I guess we're never gonna know.
Well, only one way to find out what's going to happen from here. Whether it's just a one-off or whether it's going to set in the tone for the rest of the game. But moving forward, we're just going to, on the side of the timeline, we're just going to take that win and we're going to move upstairs. And this is a site I absolutely love purely because of how layered it is. It's a defensive setup. They set up, you see they're setting up all the way to CCTV, they're reinforcing cache, and then they're doing a setup over towards construction as well. This means that they can layer their defense. I kind of call it the wedding cake defense, because there's so many different tiers to it. As soon as cache falls, or as soon as CCTV feels pressure, the players pull back to cache. As soon as cache starts feeling the pressure and they fall back to construction. And if they're smart, they've got that angle into the construction wall, so somebody in that master bedroom can take that gunfight. That's when logic comes into play. And the head hole's there, and why mirror was banned? That's where we typically see those mirror windows. As soon as that's there, that really shuts down that construction, and it really stops the attackers from really getting any traction. Right now, though, they are going to be moving in. The first player will drop. Are they aware of Jake Forsyth? No, they are not. The free kill for the Solace as they will rotate off. This time not being the first fall in this game.
An early kill and a crucial kill as well. It's the Thatcher to fall, and that means they're going to really struggle to get rid of any of the utility that is denying them to open the walls. Yes, granted, they do still have that one pocket EMP in pocket of the Grim. However, that's one EMP for the entirety of the map. However, it's not going to really matter as the primary hard breacher has fallen. Rizraz found himself taken down. That is the thermite. They do still have that ace in pocket, but not as effective on this site. But Schnitzy Poo to shut them down, close them down, bags packed, you're going home. The ace falls, and it's all down to this 2 versus 5. 2 versus 4 as we speak, as the Schnitzy Poo fall finally to be punished for his crime.
Yeah, Dipsy going to be able to find that kill, getting them from that red rotate, but time ticking down halfway through the round, that is. And only 2 players against 4. A difficult situation to be in, so they're going to utilize all the time they have. Get this utility in, look at these shields, look at these barricades, get rid of them. Using those Grim Bees then just to make sure that they're covered as best as possible, and NT is only just able to find that pick onto Souther. And in doing so, even things out little by little. Inky Winky Jinky though, looking to try and get advantage of the fact that Grim is over towards construction by themselves. Yes, you do have NT over on the window, but it's only so much cover can be provided. Time again ticking down. The attackers need to start thinking about how they're going to make this push, where are they going to go. Remember that entire Logian 90 side and main stairs is not clear. Frostmax will be taken down, so it will be safe to drop in as soon as they want to, but again, defenders are aware. They know where these players are going to be coming from. It's going to be very difficult for the defenders to lose. Tinky Winky Jinky has an angle. Solace playing down below, looking to be the real big problem just in case that bomb starts to go. But as Dipsy moves through, they're looking for the first kill. Can they find it? Looks for a second and get it. Now they have to get the plant down and deal with the Solace. They know it's there, so they're going to plant over towards that bed. And now the defender looks up, spots the player, puts the impacts out, and has to find the head. They're only just... No, they're not even going to see it. The plank goes down. And now the 2 versus 1 attack. It's become a 2 versus 1 defense. Rotating out to that window, rotating over the construction. Jake Forsyth truly has a task ahead of them. And Velocity.
In this 2 versus 1 though, Jake Forsyth, absolute mission. And he's not even going to get one step into it as he falls. Pause. Rewind. This be ridiculous from him. Jumps in past the window. One, the fact that he's been allowed to jump in is absolutely ridiculous. But not only that, he's been allowed to jump in, kill one, and kill the bathroom guy as well to legitimately win them the round. The entire round comes down to this one play of him in Master, kills the Frost behind the keeper, looks at the bathroom, kills another, and is able to get the plant down because the Solus is on site playing below to deny the plant.
All it is just that there wasn't a cross being actively held. And in doing so, then it becomes a 1 versus 1 versus 1. There isn't that few angles there, and it just means that they can get away with it, doesn't it?
Absolutely agree with it. Crossfire is all they need to set up for that. If one person, or even just simply, clearly even a simple call of play off my contact was not made because of how delayed the swing was. They clearly just completely did not have a read into what they were even remotely trying to do. And this is what I mean when I said at the start of the game, you can do unorthodox stuff and still get away with it. That being a prime example.
Yeah, now we are going to be heading towards what is more orthodox site in the game, really. Everyone knows CCTV, it goes ahead with that bottom floor, and it's actually going to be my mistake, they're back on the same site. And for me on the defense, what I really want to see is when they get these early advantages, I want to see Retirement Home being able to take advantage of them. I mean, they got an opening pick before down in oil, they're not going to get that again. So they need to be able to find another opportunity and take advantage of that. They were able to really shut down this attacking hold over towards that CCTV's cash side. This is what I want to see. I want to see, can they catch these players off guard? Is there someone sat top red? Is there somebody with an off angle in construction or in cash? Right now, not that we can see, but time has yet to tell. Very aggressive angles have been made for the defenders, though. It means the attackers have to be a lot more careful moving forward.
Speaking of being careful moving forward, the knock finds one, finds a second as he sneaks up, takes down two, which Snitsy Poo and got off the board. Puts it into 5 versus 3, early doors as well, and it's going to force the attackers to have to play aggressive. They have to try and work a pick to try and find the man count back to even ground.
Yeah, and as time ticks forward, the defenders are able to just pull back that a little bit more now, and they're going to have to, and they're going to need to play together. This is what we saw last time. It's what we spoke about. Jake Forsyth and Tiki Winky Jinky coming back to site. Logi going to be a massive pain in the side of the attackers if it's played properly. Right now you can see that single wall is offering a little bit of reprieve for those attackers. They can play it safe and hold that construction door, but Rizraz knows they have to push forward. The shots come through, they know a player's there. Right now, 2 people can hold that angle. Going horribly for the Frost. Patience being key. They slowly crawl forward. Maybe not the way to go until we start getting to the later stages of the round, but Thinky Winky Jinky tries it and is able to find those kills.
This is where things get very, very close and very, very tight for the defenders as they have this construction control and able to pinch and isolate these Logi players. Speaking of that though, Tinky Winky Jinky takes down one. The Frost puts it down to the 4 versus 2 though, and there's one more to fall. Rizzy Raz takes down not 1, not 2, but the 3rd, and is looking to try and find his 4th, but it's stolen by NT. That's another round in the way of ENVISION.
Yeah, such a tough spot there. NT able to just jump in purely because of the angles that were made. That jacuzzi wall was open. The pressure was there. Logi, the player had fallen, which meant Rizraz could have just ran in. You don't know. A huge opportunity with those kills. This is what I wanted to see with the Frost. I just didn't want to see them getting so aggressive over towards that wall. Realistically, in terms of that round, it just comes down to Rizraz being allowed to get those early picks off the board, getting those knocks. And it's something I said, I wanted to see the defenders taking advantage of these early advantages they get. But it was all the attackers doing it. I mean, ENVISION, that was entirely their round. Coming back down to this bottom floor, one that was very, very close to win. From your point of view, I mean, we look at ENVISION, they probably should have won that round. For Retirement Home to stop it getting that close again, what do you want to see?
I think Retirement Home, they are struggling at the moment with aggression, and they can't find the right balance between the two, right? We look at round 1, they played way too far back, way too closeted, and it just allowed ENVISION to walk into site planned and getting down to 1v1, which shouldn't happen until recently the most defender-sided site in the game. It's now been overtaken by, I believe, Office on Skyscraper.
I'm not surprised.
So that shouldn't be allowed. But if we look at the past 2 rounds, the downfall of Retirement Home has been the overbearing aggression they've gone for. And, evident in the second round was the bathroom play. And that round, they lost 2 people straight off within the first 30 seconds of the round, and it fumbled their round for them. So, they need to find this fine line, the happy medium between the two. And it's something they're struggling to do at the moment. I think they need to look at playing more reserved, but contesting for the map control.
Yeah, I mean, there is such a thing as playing aggressively without just peeking everything, isn't it? It's how you position, how you give that phantom pressure that you talked about a lot earlier. How do these things play into what the defenders are feeling? Or how the other team is feeling in this case. So right now, though, Vasi is going to be moving forward alongside Rizraz, looking at this room clear. We talked about how important it was before, and still there's no change. It is super important now. You see here, Rizraz has that vertical control. Now Dipsy is suddenly starting to think, okay, well, I need to look towards that bathroom side. Little do they know, NT and Vasi are upstairs to wait and deal with it. Clockwork starts coming through at halfway through the round, and you expect to see a little bit of a push coming through from one of these teams at this point. So both teams realize something needs to happen. Schnitzipoo able to find the first kill, though. NT will find that answer and puts down into a 4 versus 4. The Bucks taken off the board, though. That's a lot of soft breach potential taken away, and now we're going to see ENVISION have to focus a lot more on their gunfight, a lot more on their flank cameras and their utility, than just being able to look down and shoot. But, silver linings, let's talk about the velocity. That Solace is taken off the board. That plant situation is going to be a lot more easy. Granted, there's still a Valkyrie, there's still that Tiber out. It's going to be very difficult, but it's not as bad now.
Yeah, well, as you mentioned, the Solace is off the board, so it's going to be easy for the attackers to try and get a plant now without being denied from above.
Yeah. Schnitzipoo's not letting that happen, though. Schnitzipoo's able to find those kills and just takes away Dipsy as well. Will be reflagged by NT again on that trading game. But it's just going to be a little bit too late. 25 seconds ticking down, and now a very difficult situation to be in. Very little hard breach done, for my liking. As NT moves down blue, they're going to have to be the thing that opens this entire round for them. That's not going to happen. Jinky will find that kill. And now the 2 versus, but the 3 versus 1. As Rizraz is left alone, and with 8 seconds on the clock, it's just not going to happen. The defenders really have locked in on this round, haven't they?
And this is what I was saying about the happy medium. And clearly, I think they found it for this side. They contested the map control that they knew would apply the most pressure to them, would be the most pivotal. So we're talking secret, we're talking bar, sort of those 2 main areas are the main pressure points of the map, alongside kitchen. They contested that heavily, but let them take all the rest of the control.
Yeah.
Granted, they threw a few bodies, but nonetheless, they found that happy medium of playing reserved, playing together, but contesting what they know needs to be contested. They need to keep.
Defenders, protect your bombs.
I really like the roaming on the top floor of that round, because that's what we talked about. There wasn't much impact of that before. They played them together a lot more. Granted, one of them died. It didn't really have much impact, but that's an attacker looking away. That is an Ash that's not taking a gunfight over towards site or getting utility off the wall. Now, though, we are going to see this cache CCTV site, and we are going to see the Maestro coming out for the first time, and that Alder. Oh my lord, that Alder can have such an impact in a round if it's used properly, but, honestly, if you kind of get to that point where the Alder's clutching up rounds, you don't really want to talk about it, because how did you get there? Looking towards this site in general, though, was kind of some of the key things that you look towards. I mean, I know what I look for, but I want to hear your thoughts.
I think it depends on the type of push that we're going for. Well, but obviously looking at the side, looking at the lineup they're bringing the Sens, they're bringing the Maverick, they're bringing Thermite, they're bringing the Capital, they're bringing the Grim. They're very clearly going to be going for this direct, minimal CC take. They're going to try and trick the wall, and maybe the Thermite goes to get con single, maybe Jacuzzi side open as well, for that those late round adaptation if they need it, right? Other than that, they're going to very clearly be trying to take Rafters. And again, Rafters is that pressure point of this site. If you take Rafters, you have so much potential to try and get onto site. It pretty much as well clears the whole of the B site alongside red because you can hold red stairs from that window. So it gives you so much potential to actually, you know, work the site just from that very small area of the map.
Yeah, so I'm very interested now what the attackers' plan is. So they've done the Maverick trick on that breach, and while they do have the angles that they can shoot through, there's not really much in the way of soft breach unless they rotate Shiro around with that secondary pistol. Now, though, looking at that electrified wall, that's not really a job anybody really wants to deal with this. For me, when I look towards the CCTV site, you've got to have that breach open, and you've got to look over towards that construction or that garage. You cannot just push through the window of the door. What we are going to see now, though, is Shiro starting to get this wall open. It's going to be a very painstaking process, and the worst part about it, it's going to give the defenders time to adjust, call it out, and decide what they want to do. They know this breach is getting opened out. They're aware that this is where the attack is going to be coming from. And you can see some of the buildings start to collapse in. The Rafters player very much aware they have to dig in here. Right now, Jake is going to look for a kill. Will catch Shiro in the back. And that is absolutely horrible to watch. But as time ticks down, is it as impactful as you think? You'd hope so. As Rizraz is able to get the refrag, and suddenly that Rafters opens up. This might be that second front they need.
They've gotten the Rafters control. As we said, it's a pivotal point. They've got to worry about what they've got to worry for these major cams that you struggle to punch, but they've got the control. They are actually in a position to look to try and get an execute. As one more fall, the Schnitzy Poo, it's TCSG, it's the Cade, and a C4 most importantly, taken off the board. Now in this 4 versus 3, they aren't aware of Jake, who still is playing for low, looking trying to move into Lounge Tower and move out of lobby. The drawing will spot him, and they will be aware of his position. The defenders now have to play so far back on the site as a sentinel while Jake falls once more, and it's a 2 versus 4. He's in the site, he's going to try and get the plant down. C4 Ripley, he's going to stick it. C4 gets thrown, but it's a swing and a miss, and it's a 4 versus 2 still. I think he's looking to try and move up towards the breach. Is he aware of the one player on the breach? He gets swung from the Raptors windows. It's Rizraz who takes one down. Now it's 4 versus 1 as one tries to jump in radio window. And if this streak find him, take him down. That's another round for ENVISION.
Yeah, very, very tough situation to be in for the Mozzie and the Maestro there. Trying to push forward over towards that red door with no cover coming out from the Mozzie. So tough. Because there was a player Rafters, a player window, a player breach, and a player on radio window as well. That was so difficult to do, but it's Jake that comes down to it. This is what I'm loving to see from ENVISION. It's being aware, right, this Solace is still on the board. We need to deal with it. We need to put the pressure on down below. They're doing that. And as a result, that is where we're seeing a lot of these late round clutches. They're just not happening with the side of retirement home. That's because Jake is getting picked off so quickly. On a site like CCTV, ENVISION are doing it perfectly. They have that flank camera. They have that information. There's somebody there to worry about that lounge spot. And, I mean, we saw how close it nearly got when we were playing this site last time. When we saw the plank going down on the bed. Now, though, going back here, the question is, how are we going to see this split go? Because Velocity, we both know there's such a massive difference between a 3-3 split and a 4-2 split, especially when you are going to be heading onto your attacking side of the retirement home. 3-3, alright, it's even. You go on the attack, as long as you play it carefully, you play it properly, you've got a really good chance. If it's 4-2, you'll really fight that uphill battle, aren't you?
Exactly, you know, a 3-3 split, when you start on the defender's side, it is good. That is a good split. Anything above is that bonus. A 4-2 split is absolutely great start, great first half for the attackers. And the question begs as well, how have they been allowed to get that 4-2 split? It's been a rocky first half for Retirement Home so far. As we said, they struggled with that aggression, they struggled to find the happy medium, they found it on their second basement round, and it looked like they reverted back to their old ways in the last round. Really looked like they struggled, and they played in such isolated position. We look at Jake, who played in lobby, moved into lounge, and was obviously trying to either retake garage or walk up red. Both positions, isolate. You can be isolated in, and you can isolate it as a 1v1 or, in this case, a 2v1 is exactly what they did, and you found yourself killed instantly.
looking over towards this. The roam clear still coming through. We've seen this quite a bit here. Well, we see retirement home. They're trying to get this aggression, and it works. It can work really, really well. We've got a lot of players over towards this cash side. If we saw it snap rotate coming out from ENVISION, they say, right, they just had one person over by Jacuzzi, can't get open. If that's happened, then all the defenders focuses over towards this cash side. The BO3 will find Raz, will look for his second, but isn't able to land it. Will drop down, however, as Tipsy is able to find Schnitzipoo. And looking down in the verticality, just wasting time is the name of the game. Hold back, save your life, but just waste the time. Don't get a kill, waste it. Jake Forsyth isn't going to listen to me, he's going to get taken off the board, and as such, the attackers will have that one-player advantage. Especially when looking towards their side, we've seen them come back from worse. So I'm not too happy about seeing this in a pretty good situation for them in one minute left on the clock. Window pressure's coming through, there are still some players downstairs, but none of them with that Solace gadget. Actually look down below and see when this diffuser's going down. Diffuser opens up and that will cut off so much rotation, won't it?
Yeah, the attackers though are setting up for this sort of split execute. They've got one guy in Jacuzzi, and they've got two people on the highway and one guy in Club. Really in some really good positions to get rid of these defenders. Now the problem they're going to run into is these key barricades, and they need to be able to clear them sooner rather than later, because if they're still up when going to execute, it's really going to cause some problems. You say that, and well, they've been cleared straight away by the forest drones. Now 2 in Logi, but it's going to be Shearer to look the wrong way. Dispy is going to get the refrag, one more forward. Massey, who finds himself taken down, an instant refrag to go out as well. It's trades after trades here in Clubhouse into this 1 versus 1. And NT has found himself in. You're going to try and pick it back up, but what are you doing? Why are you picking it back up? It's a 4. It's a 3-3 split. What?
It's either the res or going for that plant down, and I feel like going for the res, they thought, okay, well, I'll get the player up, they can focus on that angle, I will get the plant down. Time was pushing a little bit too close to that for me, that was not the play. In that situation though, very, very difficult. The BO3 playing their life beautifully, aware that they needed to stay alive rather than take the gunfight. In not 1 but 2 situations, the rotator construction, they're lucky to get that pick there, and in doing so then that gives them the round because of the position, because of the time. Really good effort from NT to try and get that refrag, but it just wasn't meant to be. A defensive round that was so much better.
I think I know what. Watching the replay, I think he tried to plant,
but accidentally revived, that might have been it.
I mean, he got off pretty straight away.
It would have died.
Yeah.
It wouldn't have mattered really.
Odd place to plant as well, I don't know. It could have been that. Anyway, 3-3 split. Pretty good. For ENVISION.
5 seconds to go.
If I do say so myself.
Retirement's defenses aren't really going to matter for another minimum of 4 rounds, so let's focus on how they attack. Let's see how they respond when the turns are taken. As we see ENVISION, I feel like what we've seen from ENVISION is going to be very coordinated gameplay together. They're probably not going to be feeling very aggressive from what we've seen. They'll probably be trying to just refrag, maybe not. A bit more conservative than what I expected the time at home to do on their attack. I expect them to be a little bit more gung-ho, ready to take these gunfights.
Yeah, I will be expecting from Retirement Home more of those kind of quick fire, in your face play style. The play style that you would imagine you see, a rush play style is what I like to call it. Is you have the play style of a rush.
Yeah.
But you're not rushing, you like to be in their faces and not give them much time to do anything. Don't give them room to do anything. That's what I'm going to be expecting to come out from Retirement Home, because that's what it was kind of like on their defenses. It was very, don't give them time to do anything. As you said, ENVISION, I can see them being more conservative, more preserved, holding more angles, more team play.
Yeah, you can see it the way they've set up as well, because there's nobody playing Moto, there's not really anybody fully committed to that roam. The players are just holding together, holding these angles towards blue. See people holding that. Raz and NT can back each other up no matter what. Vassie's nearby as well, all these Kiva barricades, and like you said, very, very strong positions. Now, yes, you can now shoot the Kiva barricades out, but they still have so much HP. There is no way that you're going to shoot one of those Kiva barricades and kill Vassie before another player has swung you. That's just impossible. A lot of verticality comes through. No actual gunfights have come through just yet. With 1 minute on the clock, with all 10 players in the lobby, things tend to end up being pretty much a bloodbath when it comes to that point. One player moving towards that meth, towards Moto, the invert's already done. One player over towards main stairs. They're gonna run into a bit of a bloodbath, but the question is, who fall?
Excellent question, and we are just going to have to wait and see who it is for. They're going to be getting the triple wall open. Want to see it fully reinforced, but not completely alien. And we are in 5 vs 5, the bloodbath imminent, as you said. With 30 seconds left on the clock, they are looking to try and set up for anything, try and force anything they can find. They don't have much control, they don't have much time, and most importantly, they don't really have much ability. All they have is 6 flash grenades to their names. There's the ace to find one, it's Nipsey Boots taking him down, and it looks like they're trying to fall from Moto. We've got one player that walks in, Ashwell finds himself taking him down. It's kill after kill after kill in quick succession. It's a 2 vs 3 with only 8 seconds left. I'm not trying to get the diffuser down. It's Nipsey Boots find one more in generator. 1-3 refrag is Vatsby, but he is in the 1 vs 2. Winky is going to try and get the diffuser down. Vatsby finds himself one more. Triple kill on the board. It's aware that he's playing in generator. Plant down though with only 37 seconds left on the clock. Low minus 7 seconds it takes for the diffuser to be completed. The attackers have to now defend the bomb site. The attackers become the defenders become the attackers, and most importantly, Vespi, such low HP as he runs towards Ashwell, does impact it and goes through. The feet hold with only 18 seconds left. He has to try and find this kill. He has to try and make something work here. With only 14 seconds left, he's going to come right down to the wire. But the Maverick continuing, he is looking the right way. It's a quad kill with only 7 seconds, but does he have it? It's going to come down to the wire. And
No.
does he have it? I don't think he has it.
Disabled the
Only just
about!
point
No
one
way!
second.
Vassy, what has gone on there? Aware that you couldn't go for the... You couldn't just go for the defuse? What? Time ticking down, 0.13 seconds before that came through. And oh my lord, looking at that velocity. Oh my... well, okay, let's try and break that down. The execute comes through. Right there, what we're seeing is Jinky sat in Moto. That wall's been opened up. That triple wall has been prepped, opened by the ace. And in doing so, that gives Jinky a lot more cover. They have a lot more confidence because they're aware they can just swing on that defuse. They don't know that player coming behind them. That's the big one. There maybe wasn't enough information on that church side to tell them that that was the way that Vassy was taken. But for them to know, right, I'm going to go through church, I'm going to catch him in the back. Such a low HP as well to win that 1 versus 2. Such a big ask, but certainly delivers. Getting the first round in the very, very same way we saw Time and Home pick up the very first round of the game. Moving on to their defense, they're going to head to the same site in their second round, which is going to be this gym bedroom. Now, I expect to see a similar play, but not as committed to this layer defense. They'll probably pull back a little bit more, I imagine.
I imagine so they try and play those more of the power positions.
Yep.
They didn't necessarily play them too well last round, and it didn't just allow the attackers to just walk in. We saw it from that double Moto drop. Why is no one contesting it? We're never gonna know. Moto is such a pivotal point, such a deep point, and well, Dispa's already found Disp, sorry, has already found one. Is trying to find the second. It isn't gonna happen.
Yeah, case of mistaken identity there. Playing over towards our rafters. Will drop down. And we'll do some damage onto Sutter, but isn't able to find that kill just yet. That doesn't matter though, like we said. Every single tick of damage that they do is a deposit. That's an investment waiting for later in the round. Like we saw the situation Vassy was in HP-wise last round. These players don't need to get kills, they just need to waste time. Shira though is going to be able to find Dabrowski, and that is such a huge player off the board because I talked about it a lot. The survivability of Dabrowski was a massive factor, but Dipsy's able to find a second over towards that cash sign, and looks like the Time and Home aren't even going to make it a single step further. Shiro waiting in the wings, NT over towards Cash, and Mizraz down below. If they don't have the flank cameras, they don't have any air jams or gridlocks or anything like that. NT's going to be able to find Jinky, and suddenly it's all down to Souther. Such low HP will find Mizraz. This time takes down halfway through the round. The rest of the defenders should just pull back. Souther's not able to find that final kill as NT wants that kill and gets it.
This is more of, this is what we kind of thought the defending side would go. Slightly more dominant, slightly more...
Yeah.
quicker.
Yeah, I think I've got to agree on that one. Just the attacks coming out from retirement home, like we said, they're fast. They're going in, they're confident, and I love that for them. I just want to see a little bit more in terms of flank
Anyway.
cameras or flank watching. What about you, Velocity?
ADS deployed.
And looked over towards this site again on the top floor, the CCTV cache site, and where we're looking to see ENVISION go for a third successful round on the board. I'm expecting to see very similar playstyle coming out from the defenders. It's been working. They've been wasting time. They've been picking these players off the board. And aside from that bottom floor velocity, this is where, you know, I expect them to get an early advantage and just make control of it and force retirement home to overextend and over peak and just try and just even things out, but in a way that just kind of edges ENVISION above them, if that makes sense.
Yeah, as you said, you know, expecting them to do the sort of similar playstyle, similar aggression, because it's worked before, it's likely going to work again. And in this case, I think you'll find it's going to work again.
Very, very certain of that. Now, retirement home might have a plan in the wings. They might be waiting, but we're just going to find out one way and one way only. Again, we're seeing a very typical CCTV push here. It's all we've seen so far. We haven't seen any real pressure over towards the Logi Jacuzzi gym window. And that's purely because of that window, and that's purely because it's on the CCTV such that CPU able to find the first pick onto Rizraz, maybe overpeaking just a little bit more than they needed to. And right now, Dipsy has to be a lot more selective about the gunfights that they're engaging. One wrong peek can open things up to the attacking side, because a one-player disadvantage isn't so bad. 2 players, however, that's a different story.
Yeah, said very well. They do have to be very careful in what they push, and the control their retirement home are taking already is aligning very, very well with how they want this round to go. They are trying to get rid of their drafted players, and they are doing a very, very good job of it. They do have one person outside of garage door to hold the cut-off, and the other one outside of flat to do exactly that. To catch off anyone trying to run away from the fire. And it is one forward. Shiro, one might and huge kill that's going to be. This Speedo does take down the flat player, gets another one though, and that's going to be Stitzy Push to open things back up into that 3 versus 2. And it's going to slow down the attackers significantly.
And that's what they need right now, because they've given that Raptors control. That breach is open up. Dipsy has such a good angle to stairs, but the attackers know about it, so it's going to be a very difficult angle to keep holding, and should probably be pulling off. Doc and Frost Seth in this 2 versus 3. They have control of red, they have control of cash. They can shut this down with the weapons that they have and the skills that these 2 players have in terms of gunfights. But it just comes down to retirement home. How do they push? Do they push together? Are they aware that Dipsy's not even looking over towards that stairs and push up those rafters? They should be. They should be moving forward. There should be information on these attackers, and if there isn't, this could genuinely just risk the whole round. Right now, though, you hear the plank going down. Players of the attack retirement home in a great position as Dipsy gets taken away, and so does Vasi. The flank watch, the covering of the plant. That's what I was really getting to. That's what I needed to see. Look at that. Not a second of the attacker being in danger as soon as that player was in rafters.
It worked out.
Really, really well.
Yeah. I
They
thought,
had
you
a
know,
player on breach, and they had a player rafters.
I thought, you know, after the 2 kills that Dispy got, I thought, right, they're going to come down to the wire now because their positioning isn't the greatest at the moment. They don't really have that power positions.
Defenders, protect
They
your bombs from
do have the
being used by
capability
attackers.
They have the man count, they have the firepower to try and get it down, but it's going to be hard. And it just wasn't hard. They made it look seamless.
Yeah, it just comes down to the flank watch. They made the defenders aware that the player was on breach. They made them aware that the plant was going down. They realized they had to swing it. They had to take that breach gunfight. They forgot that 3rd player was there, over towards rafters covering that doorway. That is what I really want to see from retirement home throughout this whole thing. It's just that little bit extra coordination, that little bit extra thought that goes into that execute. That was textbook. That's what I want to see again
5 seconds remaining.
as we go down to this bottom floor site. But Coming down through it, we're seeing a very different style coming out. Something very, very reminiscent of an SSG roam on this one, where they have that castle above, giving so much freedom of movement to the roamers. And Vision clearly trying something new that we didn't see before. I'm very excited to see how this goes.
Yeah, you know, this, we thought, come the roll swap, come half, it would be, you know, oh, it would be so one-sided, and it's so much closer than we thought. Evident now, Sutter already in the building, finding himself a kill at about 2 minutes 40 seconds into the round. Aggression clearly is key for this team, clearly is working very well. But again, clearly ENVISION know how to counter it, because every round it's been no less than a 3v, no more than a 3v3. It's always been a maximum of 3v3. Most of the time it's been a 1v1. Clearly, both teams are very, very strong at playing and playing against this playstyle. Now, Dispy in a very, very important position is able to deny this console control, is droned out, is forced to run away, and the Lion scan is going to spot that as well. However, the Lion himself is going to be chasing him straight down the main stairs, trying to find that one kill.
Very, very strong roam clear here because they pushed these attackers out, the defenders, sorry. They got that first kill, and now Dipsy's rotated down to site. Well, that hatch is already open, so that's a lot of work that's already cut out for Jinky, is getting that hatch open in Moto. That's done. Rizraz has to pull back, and suddenly we're seeing much more defensible positions from the side of ENVISION, where they're having these crossfires, they're having these pre-placed angles, but they're aware that there's a lot more time that's got in favor of the attackers, and that's something attackers need every second, because every second counts. They will start getting opened up. Looks like Retirement haven't really decided so far where they want to go, and if they haven't made it entirely clear. But either main stairs or blue is needed. Dipsy is ready for the main stairs, and no doubt ENVISION are ready for blue as well. Lofty deciding whether they want to just hold the angle or push forward. They're going to opt for the more passive while the rest of the team get ready, which is definitely the right play. Allow this player over blue to get ready. Allow the dirt player to push forward. And now with 40 seconds left on the clock, 9 players still in the lobby. Schnitzipu making their advance into dirt. The proximine goes off, yanking them away. Not going to be able to find a kill. Vasi even things out, and that's basically the dinner bell. The Brofty pushes forward, able to find ahead of Dipsy. Rizraz gets taken down as well. 2 versus 4 as the attackers move on to side, but Shiro has something to say about it. Finds that pick. Looks towards the main corridor. Can cut everything off still. And the diffuser in the hands of Jinky will have to move forward. The Brofty gets taken down. Vasi able to find another. And now it's all down to Souther, and the diffuser's down in dirt. What is going to happen? 8 seconds ticking down, and as Souther pushes forward, it's just not going to happen. Shiro ready. The defenders, that was a very, very, very close round that shouldn't really have gone their way, but they were able to just bring it back.
No words can describe that. We need to rewind quickly and talk about the kill on the Habana in dirt, because that was round winning. It didn't look significant at the time,
But it was.
but the one kill, yes, okay, we see this kill here, right? Vaspi, he kills Twinkie Winky, who's a Maverick, he drops the case for 14 seconds, right? But it's not that. The Habana is clearly lurking dirt to try and hold the cut off, try and pretty much lurk in its finest. And it's the fact that the Habana gets killed in such a pivotal position, such a crucial location on the map during that kitchen dirt. It's in the name of the kitchen dirt. It forces the attackers to rotate, pause, and change everything. That one kill had won them the round.
Yeah, because we saw the players over towards main, we saw the players over towards blue. Realistically, if that dirt comes through, it puts pressure on anyone who's looking towards blue to contest blue or to contest the main stairs, like you say. As soon as that dirt comes through, the diffuser starts coming through. That's just Christmas Day if you're a defender looking at that. That's just a present. You don't say no to that. Right now, though, what we're going to see is Retirement Home feeling a lot more kind of ready for this. They feel a lot more locked in because they're aware that this is match point, and they do not want to start this first game on a loss. They're aware that if they're able to win this, they stay in that winner's bracket, the upper bracket where you need to be, let's be honest. And if they lose here, they lose the next map, they will be going up against Energy Aspire. They don't want to be in Last Chance Saloon, they want to win this, but You say they've got to go through ENVISION Esports, and right now, as that wall gets opened up, the question is, how bad are they going to get it? Now, well, able to deal with this issue that we saw a lot more in the last round of this wall being opened up, but those keeper barriers, you talk about them, and we just keep seeing one of them fall. They just keep coming out.
I'm still speechless of the last round, but moving on. Onto the CC site. We've seen this CC site be so close, down to the wire, and actually very coordinated in itself. The C4 is going to go over the top onto the breach, exploded, nothing's really going to come of it though, and the attackers are looking to go very, very, very fast. As Jake already on Raptors, has the Raptors all open, is looking to try and work a pit. He's already in sight, and he's not being punished at all by the defenders. This is a ticking time bomb, and Jake is the bomb. He's still luckily in sight, as Twinkie Winky is also in sight as well.
Yeah,
they're not in sight, they're Jim.
Yep.
They were setting up the CC.
Yeah, and I feel like that might be something that Retirement Home have noticed as well. They now have to rotate. They're getting these windows open. They're looking towards this site. But the defenders have already had time to pull back. They've wasted so much utility on Jim already that this is going to be such a difficult push. 10 seconds left in Retirement Home, feeling it now. One round. They have 5 kills that they cannot afford to lose. If they lose, then that's it. We're going into the next map at that disadvantage. And right now, Logi looking difficult. But Shinitsuku's able to find one. Shiro has an answer. And right now, Rizraz has to find out 1 but 2, and they do! Over towards Logi, they try and get the third, but it can't happen. And the 2 versus 2, 30 seconds left. The attackers have to make their move now. The defender's aware of where these players are. The crossfire is there. We complained about it before when it was Retirement Home site. But here it is. NP going to cover a swing. Dipsy watching the push comes through. The refrag from Schnitzy gets him. It's all down to NT to keep the side of ENVISION in the game. The TCSG is there.
10 seconds left.
Plan hasn't started to go down just yet. 10 seconds down. It will now. It's a 1 versus 1. And Jake Forsyth, you talked about them before. Able to get the damage. Looks for the kill. Gets it. And keeps Retirement Home in this game. They are not out yet. And they are only 1 round away from overtime.
I'm baffled. I looked at the setup and thought, oh, it's a CC. No. I was just very wrong.
A fake. Yeah, and a very, very well done one as well, because I'm pretty sure they got Retirement Home as well. I feel like Jake was kind of aware with the aggression that they took control of that Raptors side, but like I say, the amount of utility that went over towards that CCTV to get that breach open,
Defenders,
just
protect your
invaluable.
bombs.
It left the attackers in such a difficult situation where they had to go through these choke points. They had to take these gunfights because they didn't have time or utility
my head's,
to open up on.
my head's just...
It's mind-boggling sometimes. But very, very well played. Now they're going to go there again, but I feel like in Retirement Home are going to be a little bit more switched on and aware that these players are there. Now, very well played from the attackers to bring it back, but they need to do it again. And that's the big thing here. They need to be able to pull off a stroke of magic twice. I do think it's possible. I do think Retirement Home on the attack can get this, but it relies on ENVISION messing up.
Yeah. And that is something that as you know, I've noticed it with the Retirement Home attacks, is they rely solely on hitting ENVISION's gaps. It's not even necessarily them messing up. It's more on the fact of they look to try and hit gaps. And the problem is ENVISION is giving it to them.
Jacuzzi Wall getting opened up very, very quickly in this round, and a much more aggressive start, and you can see ENVISION starting to rotate their defense around to deal with it. Keeper barricades going out just to defend the players, giving Shiro a very, very tight angle to deal with. Even if that Logi or main stairs gets taken away, Shiro can still contest Jacuzzi Wall, can still contest these doorways and windows. Flores Jones are coming through in Retirement Home. They need to keep this momentum going on. I said they looked more ready in that last round, and I stand by it. I still think that they are ready. They're where they need to be mentally. They just need to be able to deliver Suther is able to find that first pick and might be a much needed one as well.
Said much needed pick, and it does. And it is significant. Every kill is significant, and it is the castle. He has those castle barricades. You rip one down, you are fully able to just place it back where you need to place it to deny the map control. It's quite a significant kill there.
Yeah, one thing I'm really enjoying looking at as well, Velocity, is the kill counts. We're seeing very, very consistent scorelines coming out from each team. There's no real super standout players. Every player has had their round. Every dog has had its day. And that's something I really enjoy seeing, actually, because it's actually quite rare when it does happen. Right now, Shiro is looking to be the star of this round, looking over towards that garage. Isn't able to find any players, though, but no doubt will be looking when it does come to the attackers starting to move forward. 50 seconds left on the clock, and while NT will catch Jake Forsyth, there's still a lot of time left in the round for these attackers to make their push. They're going to start moving through. The utility starts to dump Velocity, and 39 seconds ticking down. 4 versus 4. This is only going to end one way.
It's going to end in all-out aggression. Now, 3 players on the Jimmy side is not ideal by any stretch of the imagination. Proof of the pudding, Ashiro gets 1, NT gets 1 more, and it's all going to crumble in this 4 versus 1. Ace and the Flores, Shitsy Poo and Suffer, the 2 S's, the last 2 alive, and it's Rizra to find Suffer in this 4 versus 1. This is all but ENVISION's match.
Yeah, as you see, the shotgun comes out from NT, able to close things down, and in doing so, give ENVISION Sports the first map of this series so far. A very exciting start. It's one I absolutely love to watch at the moment, and I am so excited for this. So, just to run things down, because we do not want to wait any longer to get the rest of this action to you guys. 7-5. Very, very close game coming up from both teams. ENVISION just able to bring it down on their defensive side, which I think we kind of look towards. I know the predictions said so much about ENVISION. Retirement Home really proving why they're here, really proving why they're in the winner's bracket. But Velocity, we are going to take a short break, aren't we?
Short break, 5 minutes. Don't go anywhere. Refill your drinks. We have Cafe next, coming at you after the break. Ladies, gentlemen, we are back. And what a map we have just watched. 7-5 on Clubhouse. I have no words for it. McCready, take it away.
It was something. I mean, we saw such a high caliber coming out from both of these teams. I mean, we saw teams slipping up, making mistakes, but then in the same vein, they're capitalizing, they're taking advantage of these things. No team was really the better one until like these little things in a round that just decided the outcomes. It wasn't necessarily a stomp on either side. Both teams had really good performances, and that's why I'm really excited to get into this second map, because we've seen ENVISION on the home turf, but now we just need to see them on the offensive. Retirement Home, they're going to be heading over towards Kaf Dostoyevsky, and it's a map that's been around absolutely forever. It's been since the start of Siege itself. Yes, it's been reworked, but it's still basically there. It's been that rework's been out for way too many years at this point, so it might as well be just the bread and butter of every map. One big thing about it is the roam play. I mean, we saw Retirement Home in their first game, Velocity. I feel like their roam game, they were able to play the survivability really well. That's something you really have to have on Kaf Dostoyevsky, because it's so much easier for attackers to shut down a poor defending roaming team.
Yeah, the roam play is crucial, needless to say, on Cafe. Because of how the vast verticality of the map, you have to have vertical control to win pretty much every site other than top floor. Playing the roam is crucial, because how do you stop teams being able to play on the vertical? You bring a heavy roam, you deny it. So, the roam is going to be a huge part of this map. And it's not only that, the map, you're able to rat in it a lot. Let's think about that top floor. You can prone in the little box in cigar shop, same behind the desk. You move down to the middle floor, inside the trains, in any pretty much corner, you're able to rat. And so clearing it is going to be the second most important thing.
Yeah, and you touched upon something else as well, is that verticality. I mean, a lot of this map is very vertical based. You look towards that top floor and that bottom floor, you get a buck on either side. Absolute destruction can rain from above. Even then, when you look towards the very bottom floor of kitchen and you think, okay, well, get a buck inside train, get a sledge or a ram in there. It's going to be so difficult to really shut down once those attackers get in those situations, get these flank watchers in position. A good roaming team can really shut a lot of this down out of the gates and really set the pace for a round. But then again, it comes down to how we see the aggression start out very early on. We saw Retirement Home, they got really aggressive with their roams, whereas we saw Envision, they were a little bit more careful. Now, Retirement Home are going to be starting on the attack, so I expect them coming off the back of this loss on Clubhouse, where they really picked up towards the end. I expect them to come out of the gates running, go hard, go fast, get that first round on the board. They do that, then the second one doesn't feel as much of a struggle getting that far. And then from there, you're hoping things snowball. That's not how it's going to go. I do believe Envision are going to pick up a number of rounds. I'm just looking forward to seeing another close game, really.
Yeah, I think it's going to be close, but you mentioned about Retirement Home. We saw their playstyle in the last map be really quick, really aggressive, really up in your face. And it's something that it's going to be interesting to see what their adaptation is moving forward into Cafe. Because you can't necessarily do that on Cafe. Because despite how big the map is, the rooms are very closed and closeted. So getting up in your face isn't necessarily always going to work because you have to clear so much more because of the objects in the room, despite them still being so small.
Yeah. It just comes into mind when you think about shotguns and how close they can play on pillar positions, on those staircases. It's something that a good team needs to be aware of and a good team needs to be able to counter. And that's what we're really going to start to see the teams separate. Because Clubhouse was a map that we saw them play very well. We saw both teams really step up. But that's a basic map. Look towards Kav Dostoyevsky, then that's when you expect to see things really step up. But right now, the biggest challenge for both of these teams isn't the other one. At the moment, it's the server. We seem to be having a bit of technical issues at the moment, so what we'll do is we'll take a tech pause, and we'll just come back to you once those issues are resolved, hopefully getting straight into that game. So don't go anywhere, we'll be back soon.
We're back after a very prolonged technical pause. Into the ban phase we go on map 2. Cafe, to the snowy streets of Russia we go, and Ying is our first ban of the map.
Yeah, not surprising, looking at that Ying being taken away by the side of, I believe it was, ENVISION Esports in the last game as well. The aggression that we spoke about, the utility usage that we can get from a Ying, really backs an aggressive team. Grim being taken off the board, that leaves that Monty there, and you got to think about these key choke points over the staircases, over towards that prep side. Having a Monty there can be so beneficial for the attackers, but what have the attackers lost with the Grim? It's the Bs, it's the Impact EMPs. Those are two huge detriments being taken off to a defensive side, being taken out of the playing field. Mirror not really surprising, especially on a map like this where a lot of these late round executes do come down to, or a lot of the time wasted, comes down to these mirror windows. And like you said in the last game, a lot of the phantom pressure that also applies is something where teams just don't know whether they can push it or not, because you have to assume somebody's there. So if all 5 players are somewhere else, then there could be a 6th defender. Doesn't matter though, Solace is taken off the board. This is a good ban. Jake loved this operator. We saw it getting used to almost devastating effect in some rounds. So getting that Solace off the board on a map like this, where we've already discussed that verticality velocity, that's so huge.
Oh yeah, and she's so overpowered across all the maps as it is.
Yeah.
Let alone on a map where it's purely based on verticality.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, that's why I'm quite happy to see IQ coming through as well, because you see the verticality, IQ to see through that, just shoot them. Right now, though, a very interesting site. We're going to go to museum and dining room. Not one of the teams that we go to realistically at all. They tend to prefer going over towards that, towards the reading side, because it just allows a lot more, just just allows a lot more freedom of movement. Right now, you're right up against these windows, you're ready to take these gunfights, and you don't really have a choice, most importantly.
10 seconds remaining.
Off the floor. No. Yes, maybe. I can't remember. We're not making this mistake again. We're not making a mistake of assuming. No. We're going mid-floor. We're going dining, train, and odd sight. Not needless to say. He is your primary site.
Right now, though, I would say they are looking at moving, getting these attackers in very, very quickly. They're wanting to take control very fast of that top floor. If they're able to do that, and the verticality comes through, they whittle away this utility. Maybe you have the BO3 on that knock, moving up those white stairs, maybe heading up red stairs, all the way from down below. In doing so, you can maybe catch a player off guard, turn the attention of these defenders, and buy those attackers some time to take advantage of these choke points. Now, the BO3 moving forward, a very tentative position on these ground stairs. Has to be aware of heaven, but also pillars. The red ping does come out, gives a bit of an idea as to where these players are. Not all of them. The attack is very, very much aware that this top floor take has to come through. They have to deal with these Romans one way or another. Because, well, there isn't a Solus on the board, there is still a Valkyrie. And that Valkyrie can still shoot down through the verticality and give the information to the rest of the team.
Waiting, patience is the key here for Cafe, and it's the key that the defending side are doing very well. They are doing a very good job sitting, waiting, and wasting the attacker's time when really the attackers haven't achieved much. With a minute and 30 left on the clock, a minute and 25 now as we speak. They have to try and take some control. They're only just achieving this top floor control. We can see the Ash and the Buck only just finding themselves in piano and cigar shop.
Yeah. Moving forward, like you say, trying to get as much of this utility off the wall right now, and I don't think... I feel like Sutho's just moving forward and just making sure this is all clear, being very, very careful, not wanting to be caught off guard. Like we said, verticality, verticality. They're caught off guard here, that Buck gets taken down, this round ends straight away before it's even begun. And now though, verticality, like I say, will be taking place. 45 seconds ticking down, and while the BO3 is in the area to try and make something happen, I don't think they're aware of NT coming down below looking for this kill. He's able to find it. Are they going to be able to get that second player over towards the top red? No, but that doesn't matter. 30 seconds down, and the knock has been taken off the board, so that gets down as well. So all down to the 3 versus 5. 20 seconds ticking down right now. This is Retirement Home. This is your map. You need to have a strong start, and Schnitzipoo is going to have that strong answer. Finds the player of Vasi, starts moving towards the side, but not before Rizraz has an answer. Can't find that next kill. Shira's going to clean things up as well. Very, very close. Very good use of time coming out from the side of the defenders, and that is going to be the first round in favor of the defense.
It was just that time wasting that we mentioned at the start. Patience is the key here on Cafe. And we got to the 30-second mark where most teams are looking to execute. And at 30 seconds, Retirement Home were only just looking to set up and execute, let alone actually go for one. And it's because the defenders just wasted so much time. They were so patient. They didn't throw away any bodies. They did nothing. And that is the best thing they could have done.
Yeah. So just staying alive, wasting time. Every second that ticks down is just another benefit for you to bank in at the end of that round. So we saw that late push come up those red stairs. Well, if they played aggressive, if they took that pen fight and lost that one, that wouldn't happen. If they lost another play, that one would be forced onto the site. Now we are going to head to Reading Dining. This is the site that a lot of teams tend to kind of think as the tertiary. But for the side of Envision, they clearly think, you know what, we're good enough. We've just won Museum Dining. We'll be alright, because realistically, this is meant to be an easier defensive setup. Basically plays out as that top floor, but as soon as you hit that 30-second mark, then you go downstairs. As soon as those Romans start getting a little bit of pressure, then you drop down the stairs. And then it's an entire whole other cookie for the attackers to deal with. And that's what we saw last game, actually. That's what we saw over the ones at CCTV. They set up, they drained the utility of Retirement Home, and they didn't give them enough time. So when they realized they had to actually start working towards the actual side, weren't able to. They didn't have the time, they didn't have the utility. And that's what Envision are going to try and do here. Now floating through, Timothy goes through, there's one magnet's already causing a little bit of a headache for the side of the attackers. As they start looking over towards the moving in. They start moving through, the util starts to burn. But not in favour of the attack.
Pixel Shield, as they are faced with, is something that's going to cause them a big problem. They have to try and get rid of it, and we're talking about a big problem. And stuff that falling as the entry kill is a significant problem, considering we were babbling on about verticality, and we're going to continue to babble on about it. The main verticality operator has found himself taken down in the early stages of the round. It's going to make your round just 10 times harder. On top of that, I do believe the Pixel Shield is still up. Giro does take down one more. Winky finds himself taken down. Havana one more to follow him. Dubro, I butchered that name. I found himself taken down in the 2 versus 5 now with only a minute and 30 seconds left on the clock.
Yeah, half the round take down and only 2 players on the attack ready to do anything. Banshee giving away the position of that player. Schlitzipu has to rotate around and give a hand. Look towards that Pixel, make sure the flank doesn't come through. But like we said, his top floor is where it's all going to be. They don't even know Pixel's clear. The drones, there's only 3 drones on the board, and I don't think they're even the attackers. Schlitzy will be taken down for player in the freezer, making sure that happens. And Jake Forsyth, the player that was struggling to get in before, has to make sure that he was worth the wait and prove it, more importantly. I'm going to tick it down. R4C comes out, the reload starts, he looks for the gunfight, but he can't win it. And NT's going to close out this second round. The defenders very, very confident on this Cafe side so far.
The defenders are just running rampant. ENVISION dominating the first 2 rounds so far. Yes, okay, we're on Cafe. Yes, okay, they're defense first. Yes, it's a defender-sided map. Cry about it, boo-hoo. That doesn't change the fact that the attackers are getting steamrolled.
Yeah, I mean, there's losing a round because it's defender-sided, and then there's losing rounds because at these first gunfights, you're losing them. The time's being wasted, the utility's not there, the positioning of the defenders is just something you're not ready for. Those are 2 very different things, like you say. You can worry about it being defender-sided map or attacker-sided map, but if the basics aren't there, the round winners aren't going to be either.
Exactly. And it's something that I'm seeing that the attackers are lacking is the fundamentals. And not necessarily in the way they're playing, but I'm seeing a lot of the time the gunfights they're taking and the plays they're going for are those solo plays, the one for one, the hero plays, whatever you want to call them.
Yeah.
When actually, if they took a moment, took a breather, looked around, I think you'll find they are actually, those one-on-one positions and one actions they're taking could very, very easily be turned into 2v1s, sometimes in some cases 3v1s. And that's just to me that actually I should not comfortable on this map at all. And this is their map pick, so I am scared.
I think that's exactly what I was about to say. I mean, you've got to be confident on your map. It may just be something that they weren't prepared to see. They weren't expecting ENVISION to have setups like this, and I think once we get to the end of this round, we'll kind of have a better idea. They're expecting it to be this site now because it's going to be. You've seen Reading, you've seen Museum for some reason. This ENVISION were ready to take it. Now, though, they know exactly what they're in for. This is the top floor. This is what you prepare for. Because if you pick a map, it's because you're confident on the attack. Because the attack is the hardest part of a map. If you don't have a good attacking side, you don't want to pick that map. Because you realise when you pick that map, you are going to end up on attack 9 times out of 10. I think the Target Home have found themselves in a nice oldie but goldie setup from the Warden, sorry. That shotgun, the castle barricade to back up, stopping those players on the windows. They have to rotate Jake to deal with it, and that's going to waste so much time. The Warden, as the flashbang comes through, will be fine, that won't be a problem. But there's still the players in Piano. They're going to deal with Jake on the board, takes down that player off that window repel, and suddenly Rizraz will get a refrag. But the question is it too little too late? That Monty's still alive, so things are looking pretty good, but in terms of time and home, this seems a little bit too focused over towards this red and Piano. Want to see a bit more pressure over towards white.
The Monty is still alive, and the Monty is going to cause them significant problems. They can't shut him down at some point in the very near future. He is that unmovable force. He is the rock walking towards you. But I suppose the bonus for the defending side is when he has that full shield up, you are in a 4v3 at this point. However, he gets so much information. He is that drone, the constant drone walking towards you. And he's going to get that info off the rip. Twinkie Winky falls one more towards Etty into the hands of Summer, and it puts it into that 2 versus 4. Gyro's completely offside. He's going to try and rotate up right, met by the shield of Monty, and he's going to get all the information is now going to be given. Some shots are going to be taken, a little bit of damage moved on to Shiro. With the music going down as well, Twinkie Winky is going to try and get this plant off the Monty. Wasting time, completely baiting. Shiro's going to shut down the planter. Batty's going to find himself one more. Put them back to 2 versus 2. And this suddenly looks winnable. With the diffuser down inside, they have to try and recover. The Monty is going to try and run out, find himself taken down. It's a 2 versus 1. And Shitzy, he's outside. He's on rappel with only a second left. And somehow, the defenders have won it to the hands of Shiro.
Right, so I think Schnitzer was stuck on rappel. That's heartbreaking. But the push coming through from the Monty was so good. Getting that information, catching Shiro on the white stairs alongside that Aruni, sorry. So important because the information, like you say, got fed through to the rest of the team. That plant immediately started going down, and as soon as that happened, the attackers started going into post-plant positions. They were caught off guard though. And that just speaks to ENVISION's retake capability. They were able to catch these players off guard. They looked towards Piano, spotted the bot pushing forward, take them off the board. And as soon as they move forward, they get the planter as well. That Monty has to sprint to try and save that planter, but it doesn't work. In doing so, is caught off guard and realizing that in the 1 versus 2, they're going to have to get aggressive. And that's not how Monty's work. Very well played from defenders, but the attackers had a really strong start to pick things off. That was the closest we were expecting to see return at home come. I feel like it's just a shame that they weren't able to get it, and if they did have IQ on the board as well, that could have gone completely different for me.
I think the whole round could have gone completely differently. If, well, obviously, if it's gets up of a the most importantly, I actually think if the Monty just chilled on white rather than going for the kill, like he had to do something. If he just relaxed, it would have been a completely different round.
Yeah. You got to think about it, like you say, just applying that pressure, walking up and cocktail could have changed everything. But regardless, that is in the past. Now we're heading back to the museum dining room, and what we saw was such a strong defensive roaming game on this side, which we saw on museum and dining. We also saw in reading dining as well. It's these roamers up on that top floor. Now the Aruni is so important in this way. Combine that with the Valkyrie, you see these gates, that's force and utility or damage HP. The attackers have to compromise something to get through that doorway. And with the Monty being able to use that, do that passive damage without gate would be amazing. If they were able to do that, then that just makes life a little bit easier. That's one less smoke grenade you need to use, it's one less impact you need to throw. And now though, it is starting to tick, a little bit of damage does come through to Souther. There are C4s on the board. I do believe they're in good place positions if they've not already been used. I'm ticking down, the C will get taken away, but the trade will come through as Rizraz is able to find Jinky. 4 versus 4, and the Monty starts getting aggressive as well. Schnitzy Poo, I wouldn't want to be on that rappel if I were you.
He's back on the rappel.
I wouldn't want to be there.
I wouldn't want to be there either. Speaking of not wanting to be there, Rizraz inside, I wouldn't want to be there with a DMR in my face as he gets refragged into 3 versus. Don't tell me he's stuck on rappel again. Don't tell me. He's stuck again! No!
Ban Schnitzy from going up there. Right, so they've left, so we're probably going to see a pause when we do go for this rehost. I don't want to see Schnitzy on that window at all. At all.
I absolutely don't want to see him. That's cursed. That... 2 rounds in a row, the same window. I don't think you can get more unlucky than that.
Huge credit to the attacking team, though. That was a much closer round than the first one. Retirement got a lot of pressure in towards Piano and Red Stairs. They were able to get players onto the site, which is something they weren't before. It just came down to seeing a couple of players, I believe it was Jinky, being able to retake it and just get those gunfights, using that DMR to its full deadly potential. And open and just really shut things down. Oh, not Jiggy, sorry. It was I believe I can't actually remember who it was. It was the Aruni though. I know that much. Able to use that DMR, shut things down massively, and now for the first time, Velocity, we are going to be heading to that kitchen dining or kitchen cooking.
Kitchen dining, and I think kitchen dining is an interesting site.
Yeah,
Simply because there are a magnitude of ways in which you can attack the site. That being obviously vertical, dropping the freezer hatch. You've got your standard bakery push.
yeah.
And you've got your kind of unorthodox is just walking in like red, or walking in from white into freezer. Just the unorthodox stuff like that. It actually causes a lot of problems for defenders because you actually have to get that early intel on what they're doing, on what the attackers are setting up for, what they're doing, what they're planning to do, to be able to actually, set up for someone can counter it.
Yeah, and if teams don't have the processes in place to get that information, even if it's just somebody watching that white default camera, even if it's just somebody playing code check and playing for the audio, or just watching those cameras upstairs, then you can really be caught off guard by an aggressive attacking team, which Retirement Home are probably looking to be in this game. I feel like on this site, we typically seem to see a lot better results when we see teams definitely incorporating that verticality. Even if it's just one player or two, you get a sledge or you get an IQ above, able to just kind of pick apart things. But rather than just taking every gunfight they can, just being precise about it, realizing, okay, well, my team's going to push through bakery. I'm going to take a look over towards that red wall. Because if you can shut down those lines of sight, you can shut down somebody maybe holding a really tight angle onto that prep door. In doing so, you can open things up for your team. Or even watching something like double door or watching the exit from that double hallway. If you're able to get a good roaming play there, you can really just be precise about where you play. And in doing so, really open things for the round. But on the side of the defenders, I think just having the right information in the right places at the right time, being watched at the right time, is where they're going to find that round.
Yeah, definitely. One thing is, would help everyone out is, if repels wouldn't get. I can't go
Yeah.
2 rounds in a row.
Yeah, it's tough to win a 4v5 in all that. So
I'm completely baffled at how it's happened 2 times. So while me and McCready figure that out, we're going to throw it to a very short break while we get the other technical issues sorted out. We'll be back with you in just a minute.
right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back in. We've been able to sort out those issues, and we've been able to jump straight back into that bottom floor. And rather than bring it to the cameras again, having to make you look at our faces, we are just going to jump straight into it because that is why we're all here. Now, very interesting reinforcement coming out from Shiro. He's one that had a lot more importance a couple of years ago, but it's one I really want to talk about. So that reinforcement you see is over by Red Pillar on that first floor. What you can see is that angle. If they're able to open up that wall and then the verticality as well, can really just get a really long line of sight all the way into that double. That suggests to me that we're going to see very aggressive defensive play on the side of ENVISION. They're going to be over towards Whiskey. They're going to be looking to move around that area quite a bit. You can see that from the rotate. They do not want to allow the attackers the opportunity to shut that down by using that verticality. So that wall has been reinforced, so the attackers won't have the angle that they need. It's such a small thing, but it's so impactful.
Yeah, absolutely hugely impactful. It's a great opportunity, and well, this map is about opportunities. What opportunity can you take to get the upper hand? And so far, ENVISION have taken all those opportunities, and it reflects in the scoreline. It's 7-0 so far. Dare I say, we could be seeing a 6-0 half, because it's been nothing but dominant from ENVISION's side so far.
Magni, go now.
I mean, just so dominant so far. What we kind of expected to see from ENVISION, if you look at all the predictions, I mean, all the staff team looking for ENVISION to win this one. I believe it was 92% of the community vote going in their favor as well. This is probably more in line with what they expected, but a really good clubhouse coming out from the side of Retirement Home as well. I feel like, look, taking this moment just to think about it, Gridlock's such a good choice. bringing in that flank denial. They have to shoot it or take the passive damage. It still makes audio. You give the defenders a choice, it's not a good one. They don't want either of these options, but they have to decide. I'd like to see more gridlock coming out on the clubhouse or Nomad or something like that. The utility on this landing hatch isn't going to go through. The C4 goes out and doesn't find the damage they want. You can see here, very, very aggressive defensive setup. Shiro, though, will find a first kill, takes down Souther, and the buck of all operators on this side to get taken away.
Yeah, Buck is a good kill to have, but not as impactful because they do still have the ram on the board. One thing I've found very interesting so far is they're allowing the defenders to take this control and go for an execute. And then now in this 4v5, they have to, one, look to try and get a kill to restore that man count.
It didn't work.
As Jake just does so. But two, they now have to try and force the lane to side with 55 seconds left on the board. But Hatch got tripped. Avara Pellets cannot get it open. So what do? They're gonna have to rotate. They're gonna have to change the push. They're gonna have to change what they're doing. And with only 30 seconds left on the clock, they really don't have much time to do it. Yes, okay, they have Jake on the vertical. They have two people outside bait. But the Goyos go off. It wastes time. And they now have such little time to do so much.
Yeah, 30 seconds to get down on the clock. Only 8 Habana pellets, and most importantly, your defenders with all the information in the world of where this push is coming. Shiro, very difficult spot, hasn't died yet. Hackers are looking to change that, but Jake is going to find one as the refrag comes through to Schnitzy. And that's going to be Shiro and Rizraz cleaning things up. Time to get down. That was the 6th defender there. You really can't deny it.
Quick
that hatch not getting opened up. Those kills coming through, and as soon as that happened, they had to just force through Bakery, like you said. They had to rotate. They didn't have a choice. That happens, and the smoke canisters, the Goyo canisters as well, all going to just make that worse and worse. And ENVISION, 5-0 scoreline. Question is it a 5-1 side or is it a 6-0 side?
I hate to say, and we have this feeling deep down. I've got a feeling there's a 7-0 coming.
It's not looking great for the side of Retirement Home, and for me, I feel like it just comes down to these little things. Like,
Bomb located by attack.
I feel like that hatch isn't really something you can look at, but we didn't see any pressure over towards the white stairs. We saw pressure towards Bakery and Mini Bakery, but there wasn't much anywhere else, in my opinion.
Exactly.
We saw the verticality, but
That's it.
Buck got taken away. That's what it was.
What? The thing is, right?
10 seconds to go.
Is that, as you said, pressure. Why is Cafe such a defender-sided map? Because attackers can't apply pressure around the map. So what do? They need to apply the phantom pressure across a magnitude of areas. And the fact they were only focused on having train control with the vertical, and then bakery control, made their life so much harder because the defenders were able to recognize that, run around and do what they want. It's what we call multi-dimensional pressure. They didn't have it, or it caused them problems. And now we're at 5-0, looking at what could convincingly be a 6-0.
Yep.
It's really not looking good for Retirement Home. And now we get to see the reading site once again. We saw them so dominant on this site when they came here before. We get the joys of seeing it again. I can't wait to see what they put out there.
Yeah, it's all down to this piano side for me. I'm really, really focused on this piano side because this is where we see these players dying out, and Schnitzy does not want to go on that window at all. I can guarantee you that 1,000% for the reason that we've seen so far, and that is because of the glitch. That means taking piano control is so much harder. You don't have the player looking over towards that piano side, and now Jake has to take these gunfights looking over towards Cockdown. Bravo coming in absolutely massive here in dealing with these arena barricades. Something we noticed the last time we were here was something that potential Retirement Home are looking to contest. Now, very aggressive swing from Rizraz is able to find one, not aware of a second player nearby. Jiro's going to be the one to find that kill though, and the writing already seemingly on the wall. Not if the Brofty has anything to say about it. Souther as well, each finding a pick. Bringing us back to 3 versus 3. Souther by themselves with Jake. Oh, this might have a real opportunity. Question is though, will Rizraz swing?
3 versus 3 with only a minute and 10 seconds left. Somehow, attacking side have pulled this back. Now have the top floor control and are able to make this vertical.
Yep.
Problem is, they are very split from each other. Case is down, they have to try and retrieve, and they do have one person watching it. However, it is the butt to try and contest it. They are aware of the Frost. He's going to open up the wall. Frost, safe and sound inside the train, and calls for Rizrad to take him down. Stop it to fall in the meantime, and it's all up to Jake. Quiet now, soaring. He has to survive to roll the last map. Quiet, sleeping in this map. And Rizraz takes him down, played to a 6-0 match point on track for that 7-0.
Yeah, Jake in a very difficult situation there. The Rizraz swing coming out from reading, that was it, realistically. That was where we saw that kill come through. That was where we saw that round win. And as we go into the side split, a flawless side from ENVISION on the defensive sit-up. And I've got to say, where's the retirement home gone from that first game? At the moment, they're looking quite happy to go all the way to that loser's bracket. All the way down and there, and allowing ENVISION Esports to stay in this winners bracket and move forward. I think,
protect your bombs from being defused by
in the Discord chat here, we see GG's coming out from one of the players already on retirement home. Hopefully, that isn't what we're going to see. Hopefully, we see the perfect game of Rainbow Six Siege Velocity. And not just the perfect game, because they need to play the perfect defensive setup. That's 6 rounds on the board, undefeated. And then they need to win overtime.
A mountain.
Velocity, what happens if they win overtime?
Well, we go to map 3.
Yeah.
And retirement home, they have a mountain to climb, and they are only at the base of it. And they have 1 round. For 6 rounds, they cannot drop a round.
5 seconds
Yeah.
left.
They have 1 round to do everything.
One
No mistake
round margin
can be
for
made.
error.
Attackers are heading out to defuse.
It's going to be a perfect game.
That's perfect.
Attackers have
No
defused
round.
their diffuser.
Now, they are on the defensive side now, which is the defender-sided match, which is defender-sided game at the moment. And that's not just for this match in particular, we're talking for the whole of Siege. However, ENVISION Esports, 1, have the momentum, 2, already have the mental, and 3, clearly are just the more dominant team. The one thing I'm scared for in the retirement home is that mental games. Mental wins games. That
Yeah, I
is
feel like
everything.
I feel like the big impact we're going to see on the mental here is that Deimos coming in. Deimos, we haven't seen it yet. ENVISION look to bring it in. Now, as Shiro will find a first kill onto Jake. That Deimos is going to feed in so much information to the team. Deimos, yeah, you could look at it as saying, oh, I'm going to take 1v1s with this pistol. No, Deimos is a support operator for that exact reason. Has the frag grenades, has the drones, has the death mark. And as Shiro gets taken down, they had a rough idea where that player was if they were going to scan. That isn't it. That Deimos can provide so much pressure, just like a Jackal track. The jump out comes through. Vasi gonna get the kill with the Claymore. Dipsy just locked, staring down their fate as the player jumps out and the Claymore takes them off the board. That was heartbreaking to watch with 1:36 on the clock. 2 defenders off the board so far, but they've got a player on the attack taken away as well. But half the rounds remaining. 6 rounds to win. Just having to hold these angles, aware that the attackers are trying to make something happen, aware that they're nearby and play these windows. Maestro scan comes through, the information on the position is sure following. Captal will be looking for the kill. The frag grenade goes up, doesn't get the damage enough to kill, but does do enough to harm. Again, this has happened again. Pushed out by the Nays over to the skylight, and Rizraz gets the kill, but Dipsy goes down. 2 versus 3, make that a 2 versus 2, and Dabrowski not ready to give up just yet.
Not ready to give up, with only 50 seconds on the clock. Both teams at an even. Both teams in the 2v2. Both teams with the information, and it's Rizraz, he acts on it. He finds one. We see Jake already leave, we're in that 2 versus 1. But Vasi does take down one, and it's now this 1 versus 1. Vasi, he is going to try and get the plant down, and he is going to try and stick it. A C4 in pocket, he's not going to get off, the C4's going to be thrown, and will he survive it? Yes, he will, giving away his position. He didn't, Freezer, and the kill comes out. It's the first round for the time.
So close. The mute jammer doing Dabrowski so much benefit in the 1 versus 1. Having that death mark would have been amazing. It gives away the information to the defender, yes. But on the post plant, you are aware of how you want to play that as a defender. Oh, why did Jake leave? Able to find the first defensive round, getting themselves on the board so far on Kaf Dostoyevsky. And oh my lord, look at this again. Beautiful usage of utility. These frag grenades from Capital and Deimos forcing these players into these horrible situations. That maestro of all operators taken off the board. Beautifully well played. You look at that as Dubrovdi able to pick apart the attackers. Now the C4, like you say, didn't quite reach, but the SMG-11 surely does velocity as we do head into the final round in a 5 versus 4.
Still not joined. This is going to be an interesting round then.
Yes, so the team is saying he's not joining back. So we are going to continue
Attackers
5
need to
versus
locate
4
and
velocity.
defuse bombs.
And when you take a look at the site that we're going on to, this is not a map, in my opinion, that is one you want to play with that player deficit. The amount of angles that need covering, pick a bakery, whiskey, all that top floor, and then freezer. I don't like having this with only 4 players.
Now, yes, there's 4 players, but the thing is ENVISION need to realise is they cannot get complacent. Yes, they automatically have the man advantage, they get 1 more kill, they have the greater, they're then in a 5v2.
10 seconds.
They cannot rush. They have to take their time, because yes, there's a man down, they lack the firepower. But if they rush, and they make mistakes, and they trip, this round can very easily go in the way of the time. And then they have to play another round, and then another round, and then potentially max more. After that, yes, again, it's a 5v4. The likelihood of them getting this round is slim, because as we said, of how versatile you can attack this site.
Ooh, yeah.
But they cannot rush. No way can they rush anything they do now.
So something ENVISION have noticed here is that there is probably going to be very little roam plays. What you can see is there's no one on the top floor. What has happened instead is Retirement Home have opted to go for a more extended defensive setup. The benefit of this as well, especially having the player Sutha over towards that VIP, the area denial. It shuts down White with those Tachanka wounds. And most importantly, is safe from that verticality. Dubrovdi, though, you said it was about to climb. Dubrovdi has brought their hiking shoes, able to find a pick on the board. Takes away Rizraz on the Bravo. One of the huge fraggers alongside Shiro for the side of ENVISION. Ripped away. Whereas when we look over towards this defensive side, all the players kind of feeling pretty similar. Dubrovdi coming up huge at the moment. Not able to do it one more time to find that player as Shiro takes him down. Shitsupu will get the trade as well, keeping us in the 3 versus 3. That player all the way over towards VIP still there. So's the player towards Reeling Velocity.
In this 3 versus 3 with positions, they actually are in a very good positions.
Yeah.
Shitsupu finds 1 Shiro taken down in this 3 versus 3. I was saying about how they can't afford to rush, how they can't afford to make mistakes throughout this round will go in the way of Retirement Home, and they have done just that. Retirement Home able now to try and peel back into sight, hold the crossfire, hold the angles, and it's something they haven't yet do. Vatsy finds himself 1 the AK-12, claims 1 other victim. Are they aware of Shitsupu? Yes, they are! It's Vatsy to fall, Shitsupu. I'm sorry, Shitsupu to fall to the hands of Vatsy in the 2 versus 1. Twinkie Winky is all that's left with the SMG-11 in hand. Can he be Retirement Home? Retirement Home's last saviour. He's aware of the player of Christmas and he looks to try and find the kill. Does some damage on Pavassi, but isn't aware that this beat is playing above with the round drones.
They are.
Surely they have to try and collapse, and it's Vatsy to take him down. It's GG's. It's ENVISION to take the match. 7-1, 2-0.
ENVISION are going to be moving forward to that winner bracket and continue so far in Season 8 of ESA. Very well played for them, but in that last round, I mean, I'm so happy with what I saw from Retirement Home. I mean, think about that last round. They had those players in those positions ready to deal with things, and Tachanka was there, ready to create so many problems. And then the roaming performance from Dubrovdi and all the way from Shitsupu as well. Some incredible plays were made that really got them just nearly back into that game. I'm very upset that it didn't work out for them because I would love to see this map go a lot further, and maybe with that 5th player it could have. Unfortunately though, they are going to be knocked down to that lower bracket, and they are going to be facing the team of, if I just double check here just to make sure, I want to make sure that I get it right, I don't want to give any wrong information. Yeah, we'll take a look here. They're going to be facing Team Phoenix. So that is going to be something. I mean, you're looking at ENVISION, they're going to continue on that upper bracket. They're going to be facing the victors of one of those 3 games you can see on the top left of your screen. And you can see just on that lower bracket, Retirement Home, they are not out. And I'm so pleased that they're not out because there was so much good behind that team that I want them to stay in here.
And I think they will stay, and I think they will slowly work their way through the lower bracket. They showed the potential, they showed the workings and the great plays they have to bring to the table. It's just unfortunate they couldn't do it tonight against ENVISION.
Yes, well, tonight is over, but there is still a whole week set up of games that you do not want to miss at all. For example, tomorrow we have got the game of Ghost Army going up against Les Bullistes. I believe I'm saying that right. I'm probably not. I'm butchering it. But the most important thing that I think most people can recognize is that time. 7:30 CEST on the 7th of May 2024. I've seen Ghost Army play. I haven't seen Les Bullistes. I'm looking forward to this so much, Velocity.
Oh, so am I. I think this is going to be a great game. I hope we can get on the cast to it, but we have to wait and see.
Yeah. Aside from that, though, we are going to be done for tonight. Like we said, do not miss tomorrow's game or any of the other games during the week. And if you are interested in what you've seen so far and you're new to the channel, by all means, drop a follow, get involved on the socials, and you'll get all the information you need moving forward. Right now, though, I've been McCready. A huge shout out to our observer Argon and Nanos, our wonderful producer. Velocity, it's been a pleasure having you with me
Been a
today,
pleasure.
and we do hope that the rest of you have a wonderful rest of your evening. From all of us here at ESA, good night.
Good night.